In 1869, a small island off the coast of Italy became the home to one of the world's most unique prisons, Gorgona Island. Imagine being locked away on a rocky island surrounded by nothing but sea. Only 80 men live here, but instead of being locked in cells all day, they roam free. They farm, look after animals, and even make wine, all while serving their sentences. This isn't a typical prison where violence rules. In Gorgona, prisoners work together to survive and grow. They spend their days outdoors, learning skills that will help them start a new life after release. What's even more surprising, the prison's winery produces wine that sells for around $100 a bottle. Inmates are paid fair wages for their work, and when they leave, they have the savings to start fresh. The goal here isn't punishment, it's giving people a second chance. Most who leave Gorgona never return to a life of crime. This small island, far from the world, might just hold the key to something bigger, a prison system that heals rather than hurts. Gorgona stands as Italy's last island prison, a place that turns prisoners into skilled workers, offering them hope beyond their sentence. It's not just a prison, it's a place of change. Gorgona Island, part of the Tuscan archipelago, has a long and varied history. Initially, it was a monastic settlement during the Middle Ages, home to Benedictine monks who sought solitude on its rugged, isolated landscape. The monks established the Gorgona Abbey, and for many years the island was a place of prayer and reflection. However, the abbey was abandoned in 1425, and the island's purpose shifted over the centuries, eventually being repurposed into an agricultural penal colony in 1869 by the Kingdom of Italy. The idea behind turning Gorgona into a penal colony wasn't merely to incarcerate criminals, but to rehabilitate them through hard work and self-sufficiency. The Italian government recognized the potential of the island's isolation for reforming prisoners. Instead of serving as a place of punishment, Gorgona evolved into a space where inmates were encouraged to develop life skills that would benefit them after their sentences. Gorgona's prison model was unique from the start. Unlike traditional prisons that emphasize confinement and isolation, Gorgona focused on agricultural labor. Inmates were tasked with farming, raising livestock, and later producing wine. By involving prisoners in such activities, the prison fostered a sense of responsibility and purpose. The idea was that this would help inmates reintegrate into society once they were released, with practical skills that could support their livelihood. One of the most interesting developments on Gorgona came when the prison partnered with the Frescobaldi family, a prestigious name in Italian winemaking. The Frescobaldas have been producing wine in Tuscany for over 700 years, and in 2012, they began working with the prison to help inmates develop skills in winemaking. This partnership gave birth to the production of Gorgona Bianco, a white wine made from Ansonica and Vermentino grapes. The wine is highly regarded, with bottles selling for around €70. Inmates are involved in every step of the winemaking process, from tending the vineyards to bottling the finished product. The production of wine on the island not only serves as a form of rehabilitation but also brings significant revenue to the prison, making it partially self-sustaining. The inmates are paid fair wages, which they can save for their release or send to their families. This aspect of Gorgona's system helps instill a sense of dignity and independence in the inmates. They are not merely serving time but working towards a future, both for themselves and their loved ones. Beyond winemaking, the prison also runs a vegetable garden, raises livestock, and produces olive oil. The agricultural products from Gorgona are known for their quality, and the island's produce is sold in local markets. This level of self-sufficiency reflects the prison's focus on rehabilitation through work. Inmates on Gorgona are not locked away from society but rather engaged in productive labor that benefits both the island and their personal growth. Another fascinating aspect of Gorgona is its geographical isolation. Located 37 kilometers off the coast of Livorno, the island is only accessible by boat. This natural isolation provides security, as it is considered nearly impossible to escape. In the history of the penal colony, only one prisoner is believed to have attempted escape, and whether they survived the swim to the mainland remains unknown. This geographical feature allows Gorgona to offer its inmates a level of freedom not found in other prisons. During the day, prisoners are allowed to move freely around the island, working the land and tending to their responsibilities. They only return to their cells for lockdown between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. This open-air prison system has contributed to Gorgona's low recidivism rate. While Italian prisons have a general recidivism rate of around 70%, meaning most prisoners reoffend after release, Gorgona's rate is drastically lower, at only around 20%. This success is often attributed to the sense of community and responsibility that Gorgona fosters. The prison functions more like a small village, with everyone contributing to the daily upkeep of the island. This not only benefits the prisoners while they are incarcerated, but also provides them with skills and a work ethic that they can take with them after release. The history of Gorgona is one of transformation from a quiet monastic island to an innovative penal colony focused on rehabilitation. Its approach to incarceration challenges the typical notions of punishment, instead emphasizing the possibility of reform and reintegration into society. Through its agricultural work and winemaking, Gorgona offers prisoners not just a way to pass time, but a real opportunity to change their lives. Life on Gorgona Island is vastly different from most prisons. Located 37 km off the coast of Livorno, Italy, this penal colony is surrounded by the sea, making it impossible to escape. What sets Gorgona apart is the freedom it provides its inmates. Instead of being locked in cells, prisoners are given the chance to work and live out in the open. The prison holds only 70 to 80 inmates, and these are men who are serving the last part of their long sentences. Most have committed serious crimes but are nearing the end of their time in prison. The island itself is small, just 2.2 square kilometers, but within that space, the inmates are responsible for tending the vineyards, growing vegetables, and raising livestock. Every day they head out to work, either caring for the vineyard or the animals, producing goods like wine, vegetables, cheese, and olive oil. The partnership with the Frescobaldi family, who are renowned for producing high-quality wines for over 700 years, has transformed the prison. The inmates are taught the craft of winemaking, from tending the vines to bottling the wine. The Gorgona Bianco and Gorgona Rosso wines are sold for around 80 to 100 euros per bottle, and the proceeds from the sales go back into supporting the prison and paying the inmates fair wages. What makes this arrangement special is that inmates are paid like professionals, which gives them a sense of dignity and purpose. They aren't treated like criminals who have been cast away. They are given the tools and skills to start fresh when they leave. Some inmates, after their release, continue to work for the Frescobaldi estates on the mainland. This provides a real opportunity for rehabilitation and reintegration into society. Former prison director Carlo Mazzurbo played a huge role in turning Gorgona into what it is today. He believed that prisoners deserved to be treated with respect and saw the potential of using the island's resources for rehabilitation rather than punishment. His efforts, alongside the help of Maria Grazia Giampiccolo and the Frescobaldi family, created a new model of detention where hope and opportunity replaced confinement and despair. But life on the island isn't easy. The work is hard, and the prison environment is still strict. The prisoners may work outside during the day, but at night they return to their cells. The community spirit is strong, though. Inmates share responsibilities, whether it's working the land, tending to animals, or maintaining the prison buildings. Violence is rare, and cooperation is a key part of life in Gorgona. Prisoners find a rhythm here far removed from the overcrowded and harsh conditions of most other Italian prisons. This sense of community is one of the reasons why Gorgona has such a low recidivism rate, with only around 20% of inmates reoffending after release, compared to 80% in other Italian prisons. The stories of Gorgona's inmates are just as fascinating as the island itself. Each prisoner comes to Gorgona with a past, but what makes their time here unique is the chance they get for a fresh start. Take Luigi, for example. Before coming to Gorgona, he had no experience with vineyards. When he first arrived, he was unsure of how to work the land, but after a few months of guidance from the Frescobaldi winemakers, he became an expert. After spending 3 years learning about viticulture, Luigi now trains new inmates, passing on the skills he has learned. His hope is to work in a vineyard after his release, and thanks to Gorgona, that dream is within reach. Valerio, another inmate, came from a farming background. He used to work in stables before he was incarcerated, and on Gorgona, he cares for the animals. Valerio finds a sense of comfort in the work, tending to cows, pigs, and chickens. For him, Gorgona represents a return to normal life, and he looks forward to continuing this work when he leaves. The partnership with Frescobaldi has given inmates like Luigi and Valerio more than just work. It has given them a purpose. The wages they earn while on the island are saved, providing them with financial support when they are released. For many, this is their first time earning a paycheck. Knowing that their hard work is valued outside the prison gives them hope for the future. Marius, another inmate, works in the vineyards and has learned to value the freedom that the island offers. He understands the significance of being part of something bigger than himself. As part of the wine-making process, he learns the finer points of fermentation and bottling and feels pride in knowing that the wine he helps create will be enjoyed by people on the mainland. For the inmates, Gorgona represents more than just a prison. It's a place of learning, growth, and ultimately redemption. The island has provided them with a second chance and opportunity that many of them wouldn't have had in a traditional prison setting. Even with the hard work, Gorgona offers prisoners the chance to reconnect with nature and themselves. The open environment, the fresh air, and the responsibilities placed on the inmates help foster a sense of independence and self-worth. This environment, along with the structured work, ensures that Gorgona remains a place of hope and transformation, where prisoners are given the tools they need to start anew when they are finally released. These stories showcase the human aspect of Gorgona, where lives are being rebuilt and futures are being shaped. This is more than just a prison, it's a community where inmates are given a true second chance to rebuild their lives, one vine at a time. Despite its success, Gorgona's future is uncertain. Over the years, there have been talks of closing the prison due to budget constraints and the challenges of maintaining such a unique facility. But many believe that Gorgona represents the future of rehabilitation. The island's approach to prison reform has been praised for its effectiveness in reducing recidivism and giving inmates a chance to rebuild their lives. The partnership with the Frescobaldi family has also played a big role in keeping the prison open. The wine produced on Gorgona has gained international recognition, and the project continues to provide inmates with valuable work experience. The hope is that Gorgona will continue to operate and serve as a model for other prisons around the world. For now, Gorgona remains Italy's last island prison, a place where inmates can find hope, dignity, and a chance at redemption.